Welcome back to the channel. Apologies I haven't put anything out for a little bit. With the warm weather, the small stillwater fly fishing hasn't been great, so I haven't really been going. And I'm not had any motivation to go course fishing. So I thought for that reason, maybe it's time to have a look at what I think of my Wychwood Ionicas after 3 months of using them. So around 3 months ago, I purchased a 10'7" model and a 10'6" model. And I use them for small still waters with predominantly intermediate lines and floating lines, occasionally sink tips. First thing I noticed with the rods were they have quite a fast casting action. So if you are used to a medium action or a soft action rod, they are going to take a little bit of getting used to, or they might not be for you at all. But me, I like fast action rods, and they're powerful and you can put a line out with them. But the action is something you're going to have to take into consideration. Price wise, they are still holding at around £190 a piece. So they're not cheap rods, but they're not really expensive. They're a decent price. So let's have a look at individual methods and how I found them for that. And hopefully it'll give you some idea as to what the Wychwood Ionica is like in practice. So let's start with probably one of the most popular methods for the small stillwater fly angler, and that's pulling lures. This last winter I've predominantly been chucking snakes with the 10'7" version, and it's not missed a beat. It's got enough power in the blank to turn a snake over, but the tip's quite sensitive. You can actually see the pulls as well as feeling them. I've regularly also fished teams of flies on the 10'7". For example, a nomad lure on the point and then maybe a couple of cormorants on droppers. And again, I've had no problems turning these over. The power is there if you need it. One thing I will say is I've been using a 7-weight fast glass intermediate. Because I fish small still waters, I've not used things like die 3s, die 5s, die 7s, fast sinking lines. So I can't give you my opinion on that, but I really don't see any problems. The rod has got a lot of power and it's a pleasure to use for the 10'7" for fishing lures. So the next thing I want to look at is teams of flies. For example, straight line buzzer fishing or washing line methods. And this is my personal favourite method. I absolutely love fishing like this. And this rod has established itself as my favourite rod for this type of fishing. My old Sierra in the 10'7", I would regularly fish 8-pound fluorocarbon because the savage takes you get when fishing static I'd occasionally get broken. It was a powerful rod, and sometimes maybe that little bit of cushion was lacking in it. But the Ionica, I've not had this problem. I've actually started coming down to 6-pound fluorocarbon because you get them savage takes and the rod goes rather than the fluorocarbon breaking. It just gives you that little bit of cushion in the tip section, and I absolutely love it for that reason. Whenever I can fish teams of flies, the 10'7" is the first one out of my bag, and I haven't looked back since I've bought it. So as mentioned, I do also own a 10'6" model of the Wychwood Ionica, and I predominantly bought this for dry fly and bung work. I thought the 10'6" would probably be a nice medium to switch between the two. And when it comes to dry fly, for larger flies such as size 10s and 12s, it's been okay. I've had no problems with it whatsoever. Saying that, when it comes to fishing smaller dry, such as size 14s and 16s, I have pulled out quite a few fish. I think the 10'6" model is maybe a little bit too powerful for this. So as a result, I'm going to treat myself to a 9'5" model because I think that will be absolutely perfect for them harder days when you've got to fish smaller dry flies. Now, where the 10'6" model really excels is fishing the bung. It's absolutely brilliant for this. Now, I know people don't like the bung, but a lot of people do, and it is a deadly method on its day. It's got enough power in the rod to turn the bung over, and the 10-foot version gives you the length if you're fishing long and you need to strike. But when you strike, it's got enough cushion not to rip the hook out. It's a perfect rod for this, in my opinion. It's got enough backbone to strike through the bung and connect with the fish, and if you need to lock down on it, but it's got enough finesse that the rod takes on a fighting arch and you don't pull out a fish on the strike. For me, this is an absolutely 10 out of 10 model for fishing the bung. So hopefully this short video has given you an idea of what the Wychwood Ionica is like in a fishing scenario. I love mine, I'd recommend them to anyone, but with any rod it is best to try them if you can. Hopefully you're getting something from it and it's answered some questions. If you've got anything else you'd like to know, drop them in the comments and I will help as best I can. But if you have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you when I get out fishing. Thanks for your time. Bye now.